If you are a first-time buyer in Scotland, it's important to have a basic understanding of the benefit of a will and how this could help you if you were to pass away. And in today's episode, I'm going to be covering of some of the basics of will writing and getting a will in place. Now, I'm not a will advisor. If you do need advice, then I can certainly point you in the right direction. So this episode today is purely for educational purposes, like every other episode that I do, but specifically this one because I'm not actually qualified as a will writer. This is just the general information about it. So I'll dive in about explaining what a will is. So a will is essentially a legal document that outlines your plans and wishes upon death, and usually the information that are in wills is carried out when you pass away. Now, there's a number of benefits to doing this. So this is going to help you make sure that when you die, your wishes are carried out in line with your estate. And by your estate, I mean all of your assets. So anything that you've got there can be distributed in line with your plans. So because you get to make your own choices, this means that you get to choose the people who carry out your wishes. These are called the executors. And the executors of the will, you can have up to 4 of them, as little as 1, and they will decide, well, not decide, but they will help distribute what it is that you are looking to do. You can also set things like guardians if you've got kids or pets, and you can set who you want to look after them as well. It's going to avoid expensive probate. So this is the process of managing the estate when somebody dies. So if you die without a will, then it goes into intestacy, and there's a whole legal process involved with that, and having a will in place avoids it. You can also leave money to charity in your will, and this can certainly help with inheritance tax purposes as well. And you can do that, and you can leave your plans in your will to do that. And ultimately, it's going to speed up the process. It's going to mean that your loved ones are going to get the money or get the assets distributed to them a lot quicker when there is a will in place. If you're a homeowner and you're buying a house in your sole name, but you've got a long-term partner, it's also really, really important to consider the impact of what would happen if you die without a will in place, especially if your partner's going to be living with you or contributing towards the bills. If you own a house that's in your name and your partner's been living there for 10, 20 years, contributed to the deposit, contributed to all the household bills, but you're unmarried, what could happen is they could inherit nothing from that, and it's probably not going to be the wishes or what you wanted to happen. So making sure that you've got a will set up in that scenario is going to be key, because if not, it goes through intestacy and it can be a whole legal battle trying to get and make sure that they can get something. Generally speaking, especially if you've got kids together, it's all planned out and everything's moved over to the people who you would want it to go to anyway. But just to make sure getting a will set up is really, really important to avoid all of that hassle. So not having a will, it can avoid these kind of disputes. It can avoid legal battles, delays in distributing your estate and your wealth, and ultimately it can avoid added stress that's your loved ones are already going through in such a hard time. So take all of that into consideration when buying your first home. If you do want to know more about wills, or you want advice on wills, let me know. I can point you in the direction of some really, really good will writers. Even if you're anywhere you are in the UK, really, with this one, I work with a good quality will writer who covers the whole of the UK. So if you do need a hand with it, let me know. But I hope you found this useful, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.